Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Sports Talk with Kris P. Today, I'm going to be starting a two-part video on every NBA team's key to success in the 2020 season. I'm doing the teams in alphabetical order, and I'm going to get started off with the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks' key to success in this upcoming season is the correct development of Cam Reddish. They selected him with their second lottery pick in the draft this year, next to DeAndre Hunter, and his development really matters this year. If he can be the wing player who's the playmaker, passer, and catch and shooter that they need him to be, we're looking at a good season for Atlanta with great play from Cam Reddish if he's developed correctly, used correctly in the offense by head coach Lloyd Pierce and their star point guard Trae Young. The next team is the Boston Celtics, and their key to success is the return of Gordon Hayward. And I know he already returned from his injury, but I'm talking about his return to his all-star level of play that he performed at for the Utah Jazz. Now, Gordon Hayward averaged 11 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists last year, and he only shot 33% from behind the three-point line. These are all numbers that he should be looking to improve this year. Kemba Walker, who's a point guard kind of more fit for Brad Stevens' system, should help him do this. If Gordon Hayward can return to his previous best form, the Celtics can be great in the Eastern Conference. The next team is the Brooklyn Nets. Their key to success this year is maintaining good team chemistry. Kyrie Irving is their new star player, and he's someone who is supposedly the root of the chemistry problems in Boston last year. If Kyrie and Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, DeAndre Jordan, Joe Harris, all these pieces on this team, if they can have good team chemistry, I can see them making the playoffs, and I don't know if they'll make it past the first round, but, they're awaiting the return of Kevin Durant, and this year, maybe just making the first round would be fine for them, a good first step before KD comes back. The next team is the Charlotte Hornets. Their key to success does not apply for this season because there is no chance that they are going to be any good this season. So what they have to do this year is prioritize the development of their youth core. Terry Rozier is someone they signed this summer. Malik Monk, PJ Washington, Miles Bridges are players that they've drafted. These are young guys that they have to develop, especially after they let Frank Kaminsky walk to the Phoenix Suns. He's someone they used a lottery pick on and completely let walk. This is a team that's not going to be very good, but it needs to prioritize the future this year. So maybe giving the young guys more minutes than the veterans that are on the team. The next team is the Chicago Bulls, and their key to success is Kobe White coming out and being the NBA-ready point guard that he is supposed to be. Kobe White is someone who's gotten comparisons to Jeff Teague, Gilbert Arenas, even a Jamal Murray type player. He's not going to be as good as Murray right now or Arenas in his prime in his first season. But if he can just come out and play well, that'll bolster the play of Levine, Porter, Markkanen, Carter, Satoransky, all the depth on that team, Thaddeus Young, Chandler Hutchinson. They have a lot of good players. Kind of not that good of a team overall. Not that many wins last year. But if Kobe White comes out strong, they can win some games. The next team is the Cleveland Cavaliers, and their key to success for this year is that by the end of the season, they should understand their point guard situation. They have both Colin Sexton and Darius Garland at point guard. They drafted them in the lottery in back-to-back years, and they need to understand which player is going to be in which role. We assume there's going to be one lead ball handler and one off-ball handler. They could run two 50-50 split ball handlers. We don't know how this is going to go. Garland is the better shooter. Sexton is the tougher player. He had a few good scoring games last season too, but Garland has Damian Lillard comparisons because of his range. Man, he's crazy. So if they can understand their situation, who's going to play in what role by the end of the season, I think this season will be a success, especially because if those two are playing well, guys like Kevin Love will receive stat increases. The team will receive win increases directly because of their good play at the ball handling positions. The next team is the Dallas Mavericks, and their key to success is the full recovery of Kristaps Porzingis. They just signed him to a 5-year, $158 million deal after acquiring him in a trade from the New York Knicks, in which they gave up Dennis Smith Jr., 2 first-round picks, and took on a lot of money. If Luka Doncic, who was a star for them last season, their lottery pick last year, who they traded up to get, and Kristaps Porzingis, who was an all-star for the Knicks in the 2018 season, but had an ACL injury, can recover, this team will be good in the Western Conference with the additions like Seth Curry and the re-signing of Dwight Powell. They have some good pieces, and I think they can win some games if Kristaps is ready to play. The next team is the Denver Nuggets. And there are two teams in the full list. One is in this part of the video, the other one is in the second part. There are two teams with the exact same key, but for two different players. Denver is the first one, and that key is that Jamal Murray plays up to the expectations that come with a 5-year, $170 million extension. There is another team that has this same key for their starting point guard, and you'll hear about them when the next part of this episode comes out. But for right now, we're going to talk about Jamal Murray, who's had good seasons with the Nuggets. They made a good playoff run last year, led by Jokic, and then Murray kind of playing the second man. But if Murray can really take a next step with his game, play at a closer level to the superstar level of play that is performed every night by Nikola Jokic, this team can win a lot of games. I predict they'll be the first seed in the Western Conference because I think Jamal Murray can make that next step. The next team is the Detroit Pistons. 17 points a game, 13 rebounds, an assist and a half, almost 2 steals, and almost 2 blocks per game. These were the stats last year of Mr. Andre Drummond, who is a very young player still. A lot of people think he's getting older. He's not. He's younger than Anthony Davis. He's still a young player. He has a lot of developing to do. Blake Griffin had a great season for them last year. And if Andre Drummond can take another big step in his development, with Derrick Rose, Blake Griffin, and Andre Drummond, the Pistons can win a good amount of games this year. I think they'll be the 6th seed in the East, but I see them making not a playoff run, but a playoff appearance and a higher seed than last year. The next team is the Golden State Warriors. Their key to success is Draymond Green, returning to his 2018 level of play. 11 points, 7.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, 1.5 steals, and almost 1.5 blocks. Just great numbers from Draymond as that almost point forward type of player. Now he won't handle the ball that much because they have Steph and D'Lo, and Clay will be coming back, I think, around March, April at the latest probably for the playoffs. Draymond won't do as much ball handling, but he will play a big role on the defensive end, and I think he'll get his rebounding and assist numbers back up. They took a little dip in this last season. The next team is the Houston Rockets. Their key to success this year is Russell Westbrook doing the right things, and that means that he plays within his role on the team, doesn't take too many ridiculous shots, kind of lets Harden lead the way. I know they're former teammates, but now the dynamic has kind of changed, and Harden was the 6th man. Now Harden's the superstar. So if Westbrook can take a step back, let Harden shine, and play the 2nd man role, this team can win a lot of games in the Western Conference. I think they'll do so. The next team is the Indiana Pacers. Their key to success, I couldn't decide between two, so I'll give two. Between Oladipo getting back fully recovered and being healthy for them, and Malcolm Brogdon taking kind of a next step in his role as their starting point guard. 15.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 3 assists. Really great shooting percentages last year for the Milwaukee Bucks. If Malcolm Brogdon can step into the starting point guard role for the Pacers alongside a healthy Oladipo, that duo, along with the duo down low of Sabonis and Turner, they're going to be really good this year. I see them winning a lot of games in the Eastern Conference. The next team, who I predict will win the NBA Finals, the Los Angeles Clippers. Their key to success is just for everyone to do their job. If everyone on that team, from coaches to superstars to bench warmers, just does their job day in and day out, I think they'll win the ring this year. I really do, because that is a team with immense amounts of talent on the coaching end and the players end and the bench depth end. It is an insane team. They should win the championship this year. They are poised to, in my opinion, if everyone does their job. The next team, across the locker rooms, the Los Angeles Lakers, I think the key to success this year for them is that their bench has to be deep enough. We know LeBron and AD are an insane duo that are going to come out and be amazing for the Lakers this year. We know Danny Green can produce. We know Kuzma can produce. We kind of know what Quinn Cook can do. We're going to see what Dwight can do. And then, you have guys like Caruso that produce, KCP, Rondo, but that depth starts dwindling pretty quickly. I want to see guys like Troy Daniels step into a real 3-and-D role. I want to see the bench depth pieces pick it up and really help this team win some games this year, because the key to success is the bench being deep. The next and final team for this part 1 episode of every NBA team's key to success in 2020 is the Memphis Grizzlies. And their key to success is that Ja Morant's game translates well from college to the NBA. Because if he can come right into the NBA, produce and contribute from day one alongside Clark, who we know will do well, just won Summer League MVP, is a fundamental player, has a lot of good skills. Jaren Jackson Jr., a franchise player for them. He is going to be a really, really good player in this league. He's still only 19. He's doing great things so far. I see him, Ja, and Clark having a good season at some point, whether it's next year or this year. But if Ja comes in and struggles, it'll definitely be next year. I think the key to success for them, though, is that he comes in this year and has his game translate, and those 3 young pieces with their veteran pieces and some of their other youth pieces just have a good season this year. I think Ja needs to come in, settle in pretty quickly for them to have a good year. I don't know if he will be able to, because it's okay. He is a rookie. He doesn't have to immediately translate. He can get some time to grow. But if they want to succeed this year, maybe exceed expectations, they really need him to come in right away and produce. So that's it for part 1 of every NBA team's key to success. Comment down below your thoughts, whether you disagree about one of the teams, whether you think it's a different player that needs to step up, or it's a different aspect of the team that needs to be better for them to succeed. Let me know down below. Rate the video, and thanks for listening. Come back for part 2. I'm going to be releasing it soon. See you guys next time.